Danielle Morgan never believed in ghosts. She believed in policies, deadlines, and efficiency. As the new overnight operations manager at Elmridge Tower, she had little patience for stories about hauntings, flickering lights, or shadowy figures in the stairwells. To her, the night was simply quieter, colder, and less forgiving. That was before she fired the night guard. Before the cameras started glitching at exactly midnight. Before she saw her own face on the monitor, twitching, smiling when she wasn't. Now, every night, she sits behind the security desk, bathed in dim fluorescent light, pretending she doesn't hear footsteps behind her. Pretending she doesn't smell cigarette smoke even though the building's sealed tight. Pretending she didn't see Glenn Rowley walk through the elevator doors a full week after his death. Danielle took the job for the peace. The money was decent, the office tower was mostly empty overnight, and she had full control of the building from her perch at the main security desk. She thought it would be easy, until her first week, when she met Glenn. Glenn Rowley had been the night guard for 8 years. Unshaven, slow-moving, and unsettlingly silent, he had a way of making the hair on the back of her neck rise even when he wasn't looking at her. He barely spoke, and when he did, his voice rasped like dry leaves scraping the pavement. On her third shift, Danielle caught him asleep in the back office. Cameras dark, alarms disabled, feet kicked up on the desk like it was his living room.
She didn't waste time.
"I'm writing you up." He didn't even open his eyes. "You think you're in charge, but this place don't like change." "I don't care what it likes," she snapped. "You're done here." 2 days later, she terminated him. His keycard was deactivated, and a new guard was scheduled to start the following Monday. But Glenn never came to collect his things. Never called to fight the dismissal. Instead, he vanished. By the next week, rumors started trickling in. A janitor swore he saw someone in a security uniform walking the 23rd floor. Another claimed she heard Glenn's voice on the emergency intercom, whispering nonsense syllables like a broken radio. Danielle dismissed them all. Office gossip and superstition. Nothing more. Then one night, a storm rolled in, dark clouds swallowing the moonlight. Rain hammered the glass, and Danielle arrived early, brushing droplets from her coat. As she settled into the desk, she noticed something strange on the monitors. The feed for the south stairwell was off. Just static. She cycled the view. The glitch remained. Shrugging, she made a note for maintenance, but before she could move on, the static cleared for a single flickering frame. It was a face. His face.
Gaunt.
Expressionless. His eyes locked on the camera as if he knew she was watching. She blinked. The image was gone. A glitch. Just a glitch. But at exactly midnight, the power surged. The monitors flashed black before slowly returning, and something new was there. An open elevator on the top floor, doors gaping like a mouth frozen in a scream. Inside, a dark figure stood perfectly still. She leaned forward. The figure raised its hand and waved. Danielle stumbled back, her chair scraping against the tiled floor. When she looked again, the elevator was empty. The doors slid shut. The building was silent. The next night, she brought her own flashlight just in case. The power stayed on, the monitors behaved, and for a while, she allowed herself to believe it really had been just a glitch. Until 12:06 a.m. Her reflection in the monitor didn't move. Danielle stared, heart pounding. She tilted her head. The reflection didn't. It simply smiled.
Wide.
Toothless. Unnatural. She slammed the monitor off. The screen went black, but the reflection remained for one breath longer and then vanished. Desk night after night, like a hook buried deep behind her ribs. She stopped telling people what she saw. Stopped reporting the cold patches in the air or the footprints in the dust that didn't match hers. She didn't need to explain anymore. The building was watching her. And Glenn, if that thing wearing his face was still Glenn, was always nearby. Some nights, she heard footsteps pacing behind the closed office door. Others, she returned from her rounds to find a steaming cup of coffee waiting for her on the desk. Black, no sugar, just the way he used to drink it. Once, She found a sticky note on the monitor. "You fired me. Now I never leave." No handwriting. Just the imprint of a thumb smeared with ash. The worst came 3 weeks after the firing. She was reviewing camera footage from the night before when she noticed something odd. Every hour, on the hour, a dark figure passed by each camera in perfect order. Always just out of frame. Never showing a full face. But when she zoomed in on the last clip, paused it just before the screen turned to static, she saw her own badge, hanging from the figure's chest. It was no longer just about Glenn. Now something else was learning to be her. The final straw came during an inspection by the Corporate Safety Board. Danielle led them through each floor, demonstrating the security systems, the lights, the sensors. Everything worked, until one of the board members asked casually, "Do you always work alone?" Danielle blinked. "Yes." The woman frowned. "Then who was the man sitting behind the desk when we arrived?" Danielle turned, heart in her throat. The desk was empty, but on the chair, a fresh cigarette smoldered in the ashtray. A thin trail of smoke curled toward the ceiling. Danielle submitted her resignation that night. She never returned to the tower, never looked back. But sometimes, especially around midnight, she swears she can feel someone watching her from the darkened corners of her apartment. Sometimes she finds her coffee brewed before she wakes up. Sometimes she dreams of elevators that never stop descending. She left the building, but the building never left her. And Glenn? He's still on duty, still watching, especially her.